Okay, so let's put some of those formulas into action and see how we use them. So our first one on the back page shows a parabola that opens downwards. So we know the A value for that would be negative. Same goes true for the P. It's going to be negative. Our vertex is right here at 0, 0. You can fill that in right away. Our axis of symmetry. And we know the axis of symmetry goes through the focus and the vertex. So it goes up and down. So that's going to be an x equals, and the x value of our vertex is 0, so x equals 0. P value we get from looking at our vertex and our focus. The distance from the focus to the vertex tells us both the value and the sign. So negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3. That negative reinforces that it opens downwards. Our equation comes from using our equation that we had on the previous page. So our generic equation is x minus h, and h in this case is 0, squared, equals 4 times p, which is negative 3, multiplied by y minus k, which is 0. So if I were to rewrite this equation the way most normal people would, I would take out these zeros. I would have x squared equals 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 times y. There's no 0, or there's just a 0 there. So that first parabola, if we view this in a different format, is x squared equals negative 12y. And of course you all could transfer that back into a standard format by dividing both sides by negative 12 to get the equation in standard format instead of this conic form. Okay, let's take a look at our second parabola. This parabola opens to the left. So our orientation is horizontal and it opens to the left. Our vertex they've marked in for us is at 1, negative 2. Well, that's easy. 1, negative 2. The axis of symmetry, it's even drawn in for us. Now this axis is a horizontal line, so it's going to be y equals, and the value of k, so negative 2. Our p value, here's our focus, here's our vertex. It looks like there's only a distance of 1 between these two, but again we find that value by looking at our focus, which is 0, minus the value of the vertex. So 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Again, maybe let's make a little note that p equals the focus minus the vertex so that we get the correct sign. Okay, in our equation, we have this one is horizontal, so I have to have instead of having the x squared, I'm going to have the y squared equation. So if we bring that a little bit closer. Oh, it doesn't quite fit, does it? There we go. Okay, so our equation is going to be y minus k. K is negative 2, so y minus a negative 2 squared equals 4 times p, which is negative 1, multiplied by x minus the h value, which is 1. And again, let's rewrite this the way normal people would. So y minus a negative is the same as y plus 2 squared equals 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 times x minus 1. That is the equation for this parabola. Okay, let's go to the lower right parabola. Another horizontal, so we should be getting good at this. Let's see our vertex. Is it marked? Not marked very clearly for us, but our focus is marked right there. So if that's the focus, the vertex is on the same plane or the same line. So this has got to be at 4, negative 1. We fill in our vertex right away. Our axis of symmetry is horizontal again, so it's going to be y is equal to, and the y value of my vertex is negative 1. So y equals negative 1. P value again, P is the focus minus vertex So in this case, the focus, we're looking at the x values as that's what's changing. The focus is at 7, so 7 minus 4 equals 3. So our p-value is 3. Our equation now, again, it's a horizontal, so we need the y to be squared. So y minus our k, which is -1. Again, you don't have to write it out as minus and negative. You could go ahead and just put the positive there, y plus 1. And y plus 1 squared equals 4 times p, which is 3, times x minus k. Or, I'm sorry, h. X minus h, which is 4. So we can rewrite that as y plus 1 squared equals 12 times x minus 4. And that would be the equation for this parabola. Okay, last one on this page with a graph. Let's take a look at this. So it opens upwards, good. That's easy to see. Ooh, and look at how close the focus, vertex, and directrix are. Ugh. Okay, so let's just give it our best shot. Focus has been marked in. The vertex, we can look at that and tell. Vertex looks to be at 0, -4. My axis of symmetry goes down the middle, so it's really just my y-axis, and the equation of that is x equals 0. The p-value, so again, it's the focus minus the vertex. So focus appears to be at 0, -3.5. So -3.5 minus where the vertex is, which is 4. So minus a -4 gives us a positive 1/2. My equation now, I need the x to be the squared term. Sorry about that. So equation is x minus h, which is 0, squared equals 4 times p, which is 1/2, times times y minus k, which is -4. Oh, I've gone off the page. Makes it difficult for you to see. Okay, and again, this is just going to be x squared equals 4 times 1/2 is 2 times y plus 4. That's our equation of this last graph. Okay, so now we're also given some words. So let's figure out what we know as we read through this. Consider a parabola that's been translated left by 2 and up by 3. So already we know the vertex. It's at -2 because we went left, up by 3. So vertex is -2, +3. We also know it opens upwards, so that means P has got to be positive, and has been vertically stretched by 2. Well, vertical stretch, we use the letter A for that, so A is equal to 2, and it's positive because it opens upwards. So we want to find our quadratic equation by finding the vertex, which, okay, I've got that, P, the focus, directrix, and then the equation. Okay, so to find P, if you remember, is equal to 1 over 4A. So let's just substitute in our A, which is 2. So this is equal to 1 over 4 multiplied by 2. So it equals 1/8. So P in this problem is 1/8. Okay, now let's see what we need to figure out. Our focus, directrix, and equation. It's good to take a moment to give a quick sketch just so that we know what we're looking at. This was -2 and then up 3. So we're right here, and we know it opens upwards. So I know my focus has got to be above the vertex, and the directrix has to be below it. So sometimes it's nice to just have a visual to reinforce what we're doing. To find our focus, that's going to have the same x value as the vertex, so that was -2. The y value is going to be same as the vertex y value plus p. So the vertex was at 3 plus p, which we said was 1/8. So we can just write that as -2, 3 1/8. If you prefer to use decimals, go right ahead. It's the same number. Okay, our directrix. Our directrix is going to be horizontal, so it's going to be y is equal to the k value, which was 3, minus p, so minus 1/8. So y is equal to 2 7/8. And there's our directrix. Final step is our parabola equation. We are going to have an x squared because it opens upwards, so we'll start with x minus our vertex, the x value is -2, equals 4 times p, so that's 1/8, times y minus the y value of our vertex, which is 3. So again, simplifying this, we have x plus 2 squared equals 1/2 times y minus 3. And that's how we do every problem. We look and see what piece of information we've been given, and then use those different equations to figure out every other part. It's always a good idea to graph these just to get an orientation and make sure you understand where the focus is relative to the vertex. Remember, the focus is always on the inside of your parabola. The directrix is on the outside because your parabola should never hit your directrix. Okay, good luck.